watching Powerline TV. Stay tuned. You are watching Powerline TV. Stay tuned.
Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the third episode, the third edition of the Kickstarter series. An event, an occasion, a period, a program where we delve into the minds of experts who lead us through the path of our personal development, through the path of career development, through the path of business startups, entrepreneurial skills, and every aspect of business drive. This is where it's all happening to equip the youth, the young, the movers and the shakers under the auspices of the World Movers Generation of Royalhouse Chapel. The Kickstarter series comes to you once every month on Tuesdays here in the studios of Powerline TV. And this episode promises to be another exciting, powerful one. And I know your life is never going to be the same. My name, Emmanuel Tsivape, from Royalhouse Chapel here at the Oil Dome. Well, like we have always done, we don't do it here with just anyone, but carefully selected, experienced, exposed, and experts of different fields who come and lead us through the topical situations that are relevant to the needs of the time. I am blessed to have another wonderful resource person here, and I'm going to introduce her shortly. But just like we always do, you know our lines that you can connect with us, +233 200 515253, +233 200 515253. And let me go straight, because prior to this evening's engagement, we've had many questions waiting for our resource person for tonight. Well, she has over a decade experience in human resource management. She is currently the HR and admin manager of SynLab Ghana, a medical diagnostics and imaging company in Ghana here. An associate chartered HR practitioner with the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management, an affiliate member of the Association of Certified HR Practitioners, holds a first and second degree from KNUST, a pastor of Royalhouse Chapel, married to a vibrant young man, Pastor Felix Kranche of Yahweh Temple Hacho. Ladies and gentlemen, they are blessed with a wonderful marriage and 2 children. Help me welcome Pastor Pat Kranche. You're welcome.
Thank you, Pastor Chiva.
How is the combination? Ministry, children, HR, business. Tell us, how's the combination like?
It's a crazy one. It's a crazy one. A lot of balance needs to be executed. If not, you would be overwhelmed. I'm not only a mother, I'm not only a pastor, I'm not only an HR practitioner, I'm also a student. And so it makes the combination for me very tiring, Charlie. But in all this, I think God has been good. He's giving me the wisdom to manage all these activities that I'm fully engaged in, and I'm very grateful to God and the support systems I have around me.
The support system, the support system. We in Royalhouse Chapel, we love to celebrate thriving women in different fields of endeavors. And our mother herself is a very big example. Mama Rita, wherever you are, we extend our love and we miss you. And we're looking forward to receiving you back in the studios and in Ghana once again. So she's been an example. Now, for many young women who want to walk in this path, okay, of combining all of these, you've spoken about the support systems. What else motivates you to keep going as a young woman, and what should other young ladies who are watching us pick from this?
Right. So apart from the support systems, I think I am driven by my dreams and aspirations. So anytime I realize that I'm walking on the path of my dreams, I get more fulfilled, and it energizes me to do more. I love to lecture. I facilitate trainings. I love to do things that.
You were on the panel with Bella Mundi.
Yes,
and the other
growth and
entrepreneurs,
goals. Yes.
with 2G, I think 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Wonderful event. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. So, things that I am passionate about are things that drives me, and whenever I'm able to do it and do it successfully, it's like the fuel that drives my whole passion, profession, and everything. So living my dreams and working in my dreams is one of the things that really motivates me. The other thing that motivates me, it's my mentors around me. I have mentors, so I have spiritual mentors, I have career mentors, and of course spiritual mentors. Everybody knows that it's Mama Rita. And then I have other mothers and other covenant sisters in the kingdom I speak to all the time. I interact with. Sometimes they'll call me, check up on me, how are things and all that. And then I have career mentors too. I mean, for them, I have a lot of them, about 5 major mentors that I. And so anytime I see them go about their duties, having conferences, speaking at bigger platform and things, I look at them and I tell myself, if these people are able to do it, then I can do it as well. And so seeing them mount such platforms and share nuggets of wisdom and insightful thoughts with people also drives me a lot. So my passion and the people I look up to.
Should every aspiring young person or business person necessarily have a career mentor?
Sure. You can't walk this path alone. You can't walk this path alone. You need someone to hold your hands. You need someone who have walked the path before to help you or to motivate you walk the path you want to walk on. And so every woman, every lady, every young lady out there, every aspirant, I mean somebody, as long as you have a vision and you have a dream, you need a mentor, because in this world, there's nothing new. What you are aiming and struggling to do, somebody else have been there before. And you need the lessons of these people to guide you to do what you want to do. So it is very important to have mentors who would help you.
Amazing.
And it helps you to avoid mistakes.
Okay. Well, you heard it for yourself. It's very important to have career who have walked the path you want to chart. They will guide you and help you avoid the mistakes they did. In that, you are able to move faster than they even did in the same path you want to walk. Exciting and great nuggets you've started with us. The topic for the day, the winning CV and interview skills. Let's start off with an interest on an. What are some of the interesting things you've seen about CVs?
So, I mean, one of the things over some, it's how sometimes the CV or the content is displayed. You know, everything is mixed up,
Just there, pick what you want.
Charlie, on the CV, and you have people who just have one CV, and they use the CV to apply for every job opportunity that comes their
Probably
way.
using it for 10 years.
Charlie,
No updates.
no update. I mean, it's still there, and sometimes you see different fonts in the CV, and the moment you pick the CV, you can tell that sometimes this one, dear, you can easily tell that this is not going well. Aside CVs, I mean, the more interesting one is cover letters.
We'll come
Oh
to cover
my,
letters.
oh my God! You
We'll come
should
to
see
cover
the
letters.
grammar.
Some of the cover letters are covering the letter.
I am telling you. I am
We'll-
telling you.
we'll be
So,
coming to cover
I mean, we
letters.
see a lot of interesting stuff on CV. There are some that you see images. I don't know what they want to put on the CV for the employer to see. You see images. Some go as far as putting tables in there in an attempt to trying to bring order. I mean, arranging the CV so well and bringing order to the CV. They end up inserting tables
I'm getting an
in
idea.
there.
I would have to put pie chart in my CV. How to put a pie chart. Anyway, we want to. We've mentioned it, CVs, etc. What exactly are CVs supposed to do? Why are they relevant? And who needs to have a CV?
Right. So let me start off by answering your last question. Who needs to have a CV? I mean, every career or professional needs a CV. Every student needs a CV. Now, CVs are very, very important. It's the first hand of interacting with your potential employer. And so I don't know you from anywhere, but I see a document in front of me that is telling me everything about you, everything about your experience, everything about your skills, everything about your competences, everything about what you are capable of doing or what you are experienced in. And so once I see that, it gives me an idea of who you are. And so to have a CV is very, very important. But one interesting thing is we usually interchange CVs and resume.
Please tell us about it.
Right. So CVs are more detailed. When you pick CVs, you have detailed, it's like a comprehensive view of your profession, your skills, your experiences, and usually depending on the industry you are applying to, it's very dominant in the academia setting, where you have to now put in your publications, the awards you have won, the grants, the honors that have come your way, the scholarships and all that. So CVs are very, very detailed. Now, when you pick resume, your resume is a very concise or a summary of your professional experiences, okay, and then your skills and abilities. So resumes are not detailed like CVs. Your resume gives a summary of your professional experience. It's usually used in industries and all that. Now, resumes are not supposed to be more than, I mean, a very good and well-crafted resume should not be more than 1 page.
Wow.
Yes, it shouldn't be more than
Is that
one.
for a beginner?
No. But of course, sometimes people have a lot of experiences and just trying to put everything on the CV, on the resume, would go beyond a page. And so usually we advise that even if you want to go beyond the page, don't go beyond 2 pages for a resume. Okay. But for CVs, you can have as many pages as you want, depending on the role you are applying for. And usually people who are applying for senior level roles and mid-level roles sometimes would have to give more detailed explanation or more detailed information about their experiences and what they possess. So, and I must say that you can use a CV in the industry depending on the kind of industry you are going into. Okay. So your industry will determine what to present. Just this morning, one of the people I look up to, my mentors, sent me a job ad. I actually told her I was looking for a job for someone, so she shared the ad with me, and then they've written on the ad, send your resume. So seeing such an ad, you know that you are not putting too much details on your document to send to the organization. They are looking forward to a summary of your competences and your experience and what you can do and whether you really fit into the organization and you are able to give them what they are looking for. So these are the differences, but depending on the industry, you would have to know which one to choose.
I hope all the HR managers really understand the difference between them. And then when they say send resume, they actually mean a resume.
Yeah, so, I'm sure because the difference is not really, I mean, in Ghana, over here, we don't really mind. I mean, you receive resumes and then you see on top CVs. It's the content that's more important,
Okay.
and so we tend to look at the content, but they're actually different. One is more detailed than the other. You need it to make a first impression of yourself to your potential employer. You need it to let your employer know that you are professional and you know what you are about. You need it to let your potential employer know that you are fit for the job they are advertising for. And that is why it is very important not to use one CV for all job applications.
Wow. Why shouldn't I use the same CV for all job applications? It's me anyway. I've not changed in the past 3 years. So why shouldn't I use it for all job applications?
Absolutely, it is you, but you see the job content and job requirements differs from industry to industry.
Okay.
An HR manager in one company, or what an HR manager does in one company, is actually the role of an HR officer in another company.
Okay.
And because we are different, we operate in different industries and different organizations, what we do there differs. So you cannot use one CV to apply for, or one resume to apply for the different jobs. You need to align and tailor your CV to the job. I'm sure as we go deeper, we'll be talking about some of the things to look out for, because it's the job descriptions are never the same. A customer service officer at company A is different from what a customer service officer at company B would do. When you come to my company, we have customer service executives, but these two, this particular department, we have two major departments sitting in there. We have those that are into registration and those that are receiving calls and attending to clients and all that. Now, if you see an ad from my company, Senlab Ghana, and then you see customer service executive, and you don't pay attention to the details in the job description, and you just pick your CV and send to me because you have been a customer service executive somewhere, you will get it all wrong. Because for all you know, I won't put on the ad, I'm looking for customer service registration executive. That is not how we term it in our organization. It's customer service or executive. So you need to pay attention to the details and align your CVs to the content of the job description.
So if I get you, the summary of this part is, anytime you are going to present your CV for a job application, look at the details of the job vacancy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That will
Absolutely.
tell you what exactly is entailed in that job class.
Exactly.
Because one may say HR this, but it could even mean administrative work and not really interfacing with people.
Exactly. So usually when I see, though I'm an HR, I don't intend moving now, but when I see when I see HR roles, I want to look at the content and see, try to, absolutely, and then try to find out the content. Is it something that I can do? Is it something that I need to learn to add up to what I already know? And sometimes you scan through and I tell myself that no, this is not what I want, because I am not looking for to be an HR who will sit there and decisions are taken up there and they'll just dump it on you. I want to be in the boardroom. I want to take decisions. I want to be part of whatever is happening. And so if I see a role, an HR manager role, that is filled with administrative duties, I would definitely reject it, because that is not my destination. I've gone above that. So you need to pay attention to it. Either than that, you would apply for what you don't want, or you will either apply and you will not be selected.
Wow, that's interesting. Let's go to the meat of our meal. So we're talking about CVs. Let's start it. A young person wants to put a CV together. What are the essential parts they should watch out for? Or probably, I know there are people in the studios currently who are holding their CVs in printout and on their phones, and they want to mark whether they are close to 80 or 90% of it. So can you walk us through a CV and what we should look out for, the essential parts, components, and how they should be organized?
All right, so when you pick a CV, a very good CV, will first of all start with the contact information, or the personal information. Now over here, you want to be careful the personal or the kind of information you put there. Personally, I will not encourage anyone to put on date of birth on your CV.
Okay.
If it is not relevant to the role, you don't put it on it. So you basically need your name, and you have to indicate whether it is, so the first thing is to indicate whether it's a CV or a resume, and then you put your name there, you put your contacts or your email address. I mean, put the two, the contact and email address. Now, why do we need these two? Sometimes people put contact numbers on their CVs or their resumes. You call the numbers and the number is off. Now, a story So a friend of mine was telling me of a candidate that was successful at the screening level, the first level, and then they called the number of this gentleman, only for the mother to pick the call. I mean, he tried to say, what are you looking for? Oh, he's not around, oh. He's not. The waiter and called, and then gave some time. I mean, very unprofessional response to whoever was calling. So people put contacts there, probably maybe when the person was drafting the CV, that was the mother's contact that was available, so he or she have to put there. And so it's very important to add your email address, so that if for any reason your potential employer is not able to reach you via phone or via your mobile number, your email address would be good to go. All right. Now, after you have put this information in,
still relevant?
Yes, in Ghana it is. It is, but I mean, with emails now, a lot of people hardly would send you a letter through the post box or post office. So emailing is fine. Even on WhatsApp now. So, I mean, we do WhatsApp recruitment and all that because of thanks to technology. So everything is changing very fast.
Will we get to TikTok recruitment?
Maybe. We are only scared that when we get there, we'll get people dancing on a piano there, and that would be very deadly for.
Already we are getting pictures and images, so you should get ready for video series.
Yeah. So but I mean, a lot of things are changing within the recruitment or the HR. Or the hiring function of the HR management. So you need your information, okay? Now, yes, your personal information. Basically, your name, your contact, your email address. For me, it's enough. If the job requires that you add your name, because your age, sometimes people will put up adverts and would want to add that they need people within a certain age bracket.
A lady less than 35 years.
Absolutely. So in that case, you would want to let your potential employer know that you actually qualify in terms of the age. So that is fine. If it is not relevant, don't put it there. For me, if it's not relevant, don't put it there. Because when we take your CV, we just come through within 30 seconds. We are able to check if you qualify or not before we take our time and pay attention to the details. The next thing.
In personal info, marital status, is it relevant?
No. I don't need to employ you whether you are married or not. All I need is you are fit for the job. Unless the role demands that as part of the specifics, the person specifics or the personality that was stated in the advert, you should be a married person. If that is the case, then you can go ahead and put your marital status there. But apart from that, I don't think it's also relevant. Whether I'm married or not, it doesn't stop me from doing the work you want me to do. Whether I have children or not, I mean, it shouldn't stop it. And so for me, date of birth, marital status, if it is not relevant to the rule, please don't put it there. It's not necessary.
Thank you.
I don't know what other HR professionals will say, but I don't subscribe to that if it's not relevant to the role. Okay. Then after you've given your personal contacts or your details over there, the next thing you want to go to is your professional objective or summary. Okay. Now, in brief, you are telling the employer how suitable you are to the role. How that you are able or you would be able to leverage on your skills to help them achieve what they want to do. So usually you will pick the CVs and you see enthusiastic and motivated, highly goal-driven individual, ready to help leverage on my skills to help the organization achieve its objectives. So for instance, if I pick my CV and I want to put up a professional summary or objective there, I will let you know my experience. So a highly motivated HR generalist with over a decade experience in human resource management. Then you come to you let them know your passion. Okay, so I am passionate about aligning human resources or aligning human capital to organizational priorities within any setting I find myself. I look forward to leveraging all my skills and competencies to help the organization achieve its goals and objectives. Now, I have told you my experience. I have told you what I am passionate about, and I have also informed you that, listen, I'm not only interested in you hiring me, but I am interested in using my skills and my competences to help your organization achieve its aims or objectives. So in a very short or brief way, you have told the employer a summary of who you are and what you aim to do for the organization, and your objective or your professional summary has to be very strong. You need a very strong one, because it is giving, like, putting you more like rounding you up in a few sentences to your potential.
Like there's executive summary or
absolutely
thesis or a paper. Okay.
Or a contract. You want to let them know what you are into and what. So that's the CV. You are just giving a professional summary or objective or about yourself. Then the next thing.
So that's the second part. So personal information, professional objectives, or summary. All right, which you say should talk about your experience, your passion, your goals, and how they are relevant to the objectives of the organization. What you are going to do with that, and it should be strong and compelling.
Sure. Right? Then the next thing you also want to.
How many sentences or how many lines should this cover? You see some, there are 2 paragraphs. You see some 2, there are 3 words.
It depends on what the person wants to communicate. If 3 words is able to describe all these things for you, why not? But for me, a paragraph is fine. You need to be very precise in that. But again, if 2 paragraphs will not make your resume or CV look too lengthy, then that is fine. But as much as possible, you need to go straight to the point. Okay. Don't appear to be talkative on your paper, because your CV is telling your experience on paper. So if as part of your experience you are talkative and you are applying for a job that does not demand someone who talks too much, you can imagine what will happen. Absolutely. Okay. So you need to be careful what you put there. Now, once you've given your professional summary or objective, the next thing you want to go to is your skills. All right. Now, you have your skills, and then you have your experience, your work experience. Depending on which one is strong, you can choose to bring the stronger one first. Okay. So there are people that have strong work experience that really align to the role and fits into the role. You want to bring that one first before your skills come. Some would also want to present their skills because they think their skill is very strong. So, I mean, whichever way it is, you should have a skill there. You should have your work experience there. Personally, on my CV, my skills come before my work experience. So I mean, you can change it. At the end of the day, these are sessions that you should have on your CV, but you need to look at which of them will speak more for you quickly than the other, and then you arrange it.
Introductory phase. This will also apply to the reasons why you don't use the same CV for all jobs.
Absolutely.
So where a job requires you to highlight your skills, you project that first. But if it's more on experience, then you do that rearrangement.
Yes, and then another thing that you can also do to help you or to know how to arrange is whether the industry in which you are going into demands a CV or a resume. Okay. If it is a CV, you know it's more of academics or academia, so you want to bring your even with that, your education has to come. Okay. Because they will look at that. Okay, so it depends on the industry in which you are going into, but you just have to make sure that these things that we are mentioning are found in your CV. But obviously not to go and put your professional objective at the bottom. No.
Some random examples. If I am applying to, let me start with your field, an HR company, HR officer. Skills, work experience, education, which one should come first?
So
also, let's put it in perspective. I've just finished national service.
So you just finished national service. So obviously you don't have much work experience apart from internship and then national service. So you want to dwell more on your skills and then your academic qualifications that you have before your experiences and all that. So if you just finish national service, it would be good to bring your skills first so you can sell your skills more to the potential employer that, listen, I may not have the level of experience you are looking for, but I have something that can help me perform the job. I fit into the role that you are advertising for. So project your skills. Now, when you are done with your skills, you can bring your experience and talk about national service and internship. And so for those of you that when you get the opportunity to do internship, you go to sleep in the house and look for an uncle or a relative or a friend that works somewhere to sign your internship letter for you. These are all ways of gathering experience for the jobs that we are advertising now. So nobody has a zero experience. You have an experience. It's only that you didn't take advantage or you didn't do internship. And national service, you traveled abroad, so
Hey, that's interesting. So we have the skills. Now, even before we move on, under the skills, what picture should we be painting?
So when we talk about skills,
should I list skills or I should explain the skills and how I've been able to use it?
So explaining it for me will make your CV or your resume look too bulky.
Okay.
So it will be good to list it. You just use bullet points to just list them. Now,
how many is too much?
It depends on what the job is actually looking out for. So usually you get these skills from the job descriptions. So when you look at recently I was helping someone to draft a CV for a job ad. So we're trying to align the CV with the job ad, and we have to make few tweaks in the CV. So I see this and I ask the person, do you have this? Are you able to do this? Do you have this skill? Say, no, I can do this. So we pick and choose, okay, this one, let's combine it. Then we put it together and put it there. So that is why it's important to align CVs to job description. Now, there are 3 levels of skills that we look at. One, you are looking at your technical skills. Okay. Number 2, you are looking at your personal skills or the personality skills. And then the third one is a managerial skills. If you are seeking to get a job as a manager or a mid-level manager, and so you want to pay attention to, I mean, a bit of all these skills in there are very necessary. So if you are, I want to engage you or employ you as an HR officer, I look forward to some few technical skills. You should be able to at least screen CVs. You should be able to perform performance management system. You should be able to, I mean, the core functions of HR, basics. Yes, you should have the skill for it, because once I'm bringing you on, but I'm bringing you because I need you to come and help me. So I need you to demonstrate or let me know at least a bit of the technical skills that you are good at. Now, sometimes some of these skills are actually spelled out in your work experience. If you don't have that there, I mean, you would want to balance it a little up there, so that if I don't get the opportunity to go through your work experience, by looking at your skills, I'm able to, absolutely. And then you want to put a few soft skills over there. So your communication skill, problem solving skills, your emotional intelligence skill, your adaptability skill, your ability to be resilient and all that. But you have to be careful that these are skills that the role is looking out for. Because you can have 1,001 skills, but which of them aligns to the job you are looking for? Which of them speaks to the advert that has been put out there? So you need to look at it and then know which ones are relevant. And I mean, if you pay attention to the content of the job description, you will know what exactly you have to put there that will help you stand out. Wow. in that.
We'll be going for a break very soon, but before that, I'm controlling myself not to laugh, because I just remember something that happened once. A young man just looked at an advertisement, copied all the skills from that advertisement and pasted it on his CV, just arranging it in bullet points. Because for him, if I don't put it there, that's what you say you want. If I don't put it there, how do I get the chance? It's that what's supposed to be, because if I don't put it there, you assume I don't have it. And I need this job. Man must chop.
Yes, indeed, man must chop. But you need to be very truthful with your resume or your CV. I tell people who are closer to me or people that I meet, whenever we talk like the discussion of CV comes, I tell them that, listen, your CV, it's a tool that gives you access to 50% of being employed. So once an employer calls you, you're 50% through. So you need to be very truthful on your CV. If you lie on your CV and you come for the interview, I don't know what other HR practitioners do, but I would ask you questions from my job description and what you have put on your CV. So if you copy and paste and it is not something that you can truly demonstrate, then you should know that you are in for trouble. That is when we call you for interview, in the interview room, you start disturbing the God of Apostle General. When the God of Apostle General should be responding to the prayer I have prayed to him, you are disturbing him with it. So please be truthful. I mean, integrity is very important. So if you are not able, or if you don't demonstrate honesty on your CV and you lie on your CV, and you come and we find out that you've lied, you've indirectly disqualified yourself, because I don't want to work with someone who is dishonest.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Well, we'll go for a quick break. When we are back, we'll look at the other portions of the CV. We've looked at the personal info. We've looked at the professional objectives and summary. We've touched on the skills. We'll be going to the work experience and educational background, and then any other part of the CV that she wants us to look at. There are going to be discussions on cover letters. We are going to delve into interviews, the do's, the don'ts. We are going to be looking at computerized systems that are doing selections of late. Should you approach it just the same way we do the traditional way? There are still a lot of conversation we want to have. But whilst we get to the break and come back, you can keep your questions coming through, +233 200 515 +233 200 515 Across all media platforms, use the hashtag the Kickstarter series. The Kickstarter series. We are live on YouTube, Powerline TV. We are live on Facebook, Royalhouse Chapel Students and Associates. We are also live on your favorite digital channel, Powerline TV. God bless you. We'll be back with you shortly here in the studios of Powerline with our HR expert, Pastor Pat Crunch.
Today, I cut you away from poverty and failure. I bring you to the originality of God's purpose. Every normal human being has a desire for God. There is something that draws you to God, which was why, right from the word go, God established that level of bonding and chemistry between him and Adam and Eve. Those of you who joke with church, stop it. Because when we gather, that is when God shows up to bring you back into the originality of his creative purpose in his image. Here's the difference between you and the other creations of God. Number one, man was created to have affinity for God. That's your number one responsibility. And a man that you see, a father, a mother, a classmate who hates God, that person is less human. If your father doesn't look like God, please sidestep him and look to those who look like God and be like them. With Jesus, your life is balanced. With Jesus, your life is complete. Jesus is Lord. Our next Arise service is 27th April. Block the date. No party, no nowhere. All roads lead to Ahifie, where it all started. Come on now, come on, come on.
Apego Shanda, Ivende, Ramasunde Kaba, Aluan Tabaye. Hold it, hold it, hold it. You have seen Cookathon, Singathon, and all the thons, but now you are about to see Prayer-thon.
If I don't pray, Satan will make mess of me. I will pray, I will pray.
Join the Royal Ladies Ministries International for 30 hours intense prayers on Friday, 3rd May 2024 at 12 p.m. to Saturday, 4th May 2024 at 6 p.m. Mr. That day, we will take a Jangbeshi position, hold our waist, and pull down strongholds. Sadano, yeni be brace koto moja. Na sawosha na sawwig ni ba when ye to wig, a bafe butu. My darling, guess what? On Saturday at 3 p.m., the Woman King, the prayer avatar, Mama Rita, will pick up her prayer arsenals and lead the women of the Royal Ladies Ministries International from Accra to Kaswa and Tema areas will be converging at the arena of warfare. It will be a prayer jambolani. It is not over until it is over. It is RL3D 30 hours of intense prayers on Friday, 3rd May 2024 at 12 p.m. to Saturday, 4th May 2024 at 6 p.m. Right hand lifted. See you there.
Build your edifice by praying in the Holy Ghost.
Today, I cut you away from poverty and failure. I bring you to the originality of God's purpose. Every normal human being has a desire for God. There is something that draws you to God, which was why, right from the word go, God established that level of bonding and chemistry between him and Adam and Eve. Those of you who joke with church, stop it. Because when we gather, that is when God shows up to bring you back into the originality of his creative purpose in his image. Here's the difference between you and the other creations of God. Number one, man was created to have affinity for God. That's your number one responsibility. And a man that you see, a father, a mother, a classmate who hates God, that person is less human. If your father doesn't look like God, please sidestep him and look to those who look like God and be like them. With Jesus, your life is balanced. With Jesus, your life is complete. Jesus is Lord. Our next Arise service is 27th April. Block the date. No party, no nowhere. All roads lead to Ahifie, where it all started.
Come on now, come on.
All right, so you heard the advertisements on your screen. The Royal Ladies, as part of their 30th anniversary celebration, will be having the prayer-thon, and the dates, as have been communicated. Powerful session. I know you don't want to miss, because definitely it's going to be a session where the women will lift up their voices to intercede for families, to intercede for the nation, and to intercede for the survival and progress of the church. And also this Saturday, the 27th of April, with the Apostle General, it is the Movers and Shakers Arise service. The first edition was something else. You saw it in video. I know you don't want to miss it. Wherever you are within Greater Accra, please come along. You can go to any of our university campuses and join the campuses as they are busing themselves here to Ahimfie Royalhouse Chapel. So Central University from Miocho, Pram, University of Ghana, UPSA, Kolebu campuses, Methodist University, Accra Technical University, Wisconsin, Accra City, Ashasi, Pentecost University. All the universities across Greater Accra are gathering here on Saturday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. sharp, to receive from the Father, the Apostle General, what is in store for us. Yes, you are preparing the CV, but the Spirit has to carry the CV for you. And our Spirit, Spirit will carry.
Yes, the Spirit must carry the CV.
Because where the Spirit have carried our CVs to, we didn't know anyone there. So we were going through the stages of the CV document, how it should look like. You've given us the first 3 or 4. Can we run through the rest, and then we move on to the other session? Yeah.
All right. So, like we've mentioned, you need your contacts, you need your professional objective or summary, you need your skill. So let me just go by. So you need your skill. Then after that, you need your work experience. Now, in arranging your work experience, you want to arrange it. We call it reverse chronological. So that is where you are starting with your current work experience, and then it goes down to the past experiences that you have. And you have to make sure that in stating this, you are stating the organization where you worked or where you are working, then the role you occupied, the date. So if you are still there, let your potential employer know that you are still there. If you've already left the place, you let the person know that you've left the place. So for instance, I worked with one of the shipping agencies in Tema before I moved to the medical industry. Yes, so when I'm writing my CV with my work experience, I will state my previous employer first, which is Hoblight Ghana Limited. Then I will state my role there, HR manager, and then I will state the period with which I was with them before I even go ahead to say what I did there. Then I move on to my current way. So that's how it is. When you are, I'm just giving you a summary of how you state it. So your employer, your position, and then the period you stayed there. But start with your current employer if you are still working. But if you are not working, it's fine to put the last place you worked there, so that it follows in that order. Now, usually when you are stating your work experience, we advise that when you use verbs. You use verbs. It tells what you actually did. Number two, if it's a previous employer, state it in like past tense.
Can we have an example? So in my current employment, I should use verbs. So
for all the work experience, yes, on your CV.
The tasks or responsibilities. Yes. So if you say I use verbs, let's assume in a technical field like this, so then I should say I oversaw, or I am overseeing, or I oversee. Which one should we use? Let's say I'm talking about people management. So I am overseeing a team of 5 people. I am currently in the job. Or I oversee a team of 5 people.
So instead of saying oversee, why don't you use supervise or manage? It makes it more simple. So it depends on how you couch what you put there. All right. So you managed, you supervised. You performed.
How about I led?
Yes, if you actually, that's if it's in the past. So you must lead a team of, but there are a lot of ways to couch it that will look very appealing or will look very compelling to your potential employer. And then what you also want to do is that, it's good to state achievements. And one of the things that helps you to have a very concise document. So for instance, if you pick my CV and you see, go to my previous employer where I worked, you won't see my job duties over there. You will see my achievements over there. It tells my current employer that I have what it takes to do more for you, or I'm a goal-oriented person, I'm an achiever. And so if you bring me on board, you are sure of getting your tasks achieved or completed, or whatever you want me to do, I would execute it for you. So you want to use achievement. If you don't have any, whatever job description they gave you, you executed it. So it's an achievement. So state that there. So you can either use achievements or you use duties or responsibilities, and then you list them neatly there. But always remember that you are starting from your current employer. Now, because let me say this before people get me wrong. You are still working. If you are still working or you are with your current employer, you want to state what you currently do, not in past tense. But if you have achieved and you want to state your achievement there,
And it's-
then you state it
Okay.
in
In the
that form.
past
Yes,
tense,
because
okay.
that is something you have done. So you want to state it in that format. So you state your work experience, then you move to your educational qualification.
The achievement and the work experience, how many of them should you list at the age? Should it be 3? Should it be 5? Should it be 10?
So what I would advise is, again, go through the job description. What are they looking for?
Okay.
If the employer is looking for a health and safety officer and has listed what he or she is looking out for from the potential employee that is coming on board, they would definitely list some things over there. Some of them, they would be objective enough to say preferred.
Okay.
Once they state there that preferred, it means that it is not a must-have. So you can decide to let go. But the ones that are must-have, you need to put it there. All right, so go through the job description, and it will tell you that if I'm looking for a health and safety officer, I'm looking for someone who can do risk assessment. I'm looking for someone who can do health audits,
Okay.
or environmental audits. I'm looking for someone who is able to manage the health aspect of the organization. I'm looking for someone who probably has a knowledge of developing health and safety policies. So once you see these things in the job description, then now you pick it. That is if and only you are able to do it, or you can do it.
Okay.
So you don't need to lie. So if you can do it, then you can put it there. Or if it is something you have done before, then you let them know that I have done this before.
Okay.
I have done. So if you pick my CV, I will tell you that, one, I'm able to perform, draft and execute performance management system. I'll tell you I'm good at developing salary grading and salary structure for an organization. I'll tell you I'm good at talent acquisition. I will list all the functions of HR and tell you I'm good at it. Why? Because I'm an HR generalist and I do all these.
Okay.
You realize? So if I want to move from where I am now to a different place, I tell them what I have done here, what I've been able to achieve here.
When
and
does
then,
achievement sound like bragging? Are there instances where you read people's achievement and you realize this guy is just bragging?
that's one. There's nothing like bragging here. You are selling yourself to your potential employer. Remember, you are not the only one who is applying for the job. You can't tell what others have stated.
So you
in
don't
their
have
thing.
to be humble.
Please state it, but let it be professional.
Okay.
Don't use, like, some of the CVs you see, you read, you say, this one, dear Charlie, the things in there are hard. I mean, you see that, Charlie, the person really came for you. But as much as possible, please, if that is what will let you get the job, go all out and put it there.
Okay.
Because you don't know what somebody is bringing. But again, I'll say it, make sure it aligns with the job.
Awesome. So we've done the professional. Now we go to the education.
Education. And again, you want to also state the current educational qualification first. So you want to state, if you have a master's degree, you want to state that you have master's degree. Now, there are people that have a lot of certifications or certificates. Yeah. I mean, you see somebody, so I have one in my house. Obviously, everybody knows who I'm talking about, who has HND in lab technology, has first degree in theology, has masters in health and safety.
Okay.
I mean, different certifications.
Yeah.
So when you are looking for, if you are that person, when you are looking for a job, look at your certificate that aligns with the job that is being advertised for. So for instance, if there should be any health and safety job and he wants to apply, he will put on it theology.
Really?
Because this is not ministry.
But you have to be spiritual to see the safety of the job. If people are going into danger, your spirit eye can catch it.
Where you bring your theology in is if the organization engaging you is a religious organization.
But are you saying it should be avoided totally or it should be rearranged?
Well, for me, if it's not relevant, I would say that if it's not relevant to the role, you don't put it there.
Does that not amount to eliminating substantial information?
No. As long as whatever you have put there is relevant to the job, it doesn't. Because, see, there are some people that will tell you that if, it's not everybody that believes in God and believes in Christianity and all that. So they will tell you that if I engage you, you will use my productive hours to do prayers. So you want to be careful what to put on your CV or your resume so you can be called.
So then, let me take us back to the first part of personal information. We've spoken about a no for date of birth if it's not required, for marital status if it's not required. How about religion? You see people put religion, Christianity.
If it is
sometimes
not,
they even are specific, charismatic Christian.
So we have religious organization or non-for-profit organizations or NGOs that their foundation are Christian. So I absolutely, or they are religious. Let's use it that way. So I had opportunity to apply for one of these organizations when I wanted to move on. And as part of the requirement, they said you must be a Christian.
So for something like that?
For something like, so what I did was, now it was an opportunity for me to let them know what I do at church.
So in such an instance, you even mentioned that you're a pastor. They are in trouble. Royal ladies.
Royal ladies.
All right.
I stated everything. I mean, all the roles
that are
I have held in Royal Ladies, I did. So in that case, that is what they are looking out for. But in coming to my current organization, I didn't put it there. But some way, somehow, if you are a Christian and you are a church worker, trust me, even if you hide it, you won't hide it forever. But I can attest that before I started work, my boss knew I was a pastor's wife. Wow. How he got to know, I don't know.
That will also come to that. I believe social media has a part to play. We'll come to that. All right. So now you were talking about picking the certificates that are relevant to the job you're applying. Okay. Sure.
So if you think that based on the jobs that have been advertised, all your certificates are relevant, put it there. But for me, after a certain level, certain certificates don't need to be there. I don't put my SS certificate on my CV again or resume.
People are putting BCO, Best Primary 2 Student.
I have taken away my SS certificate from my CV, probably because of the exposures I have, and probably because I have acquired a lot of certificates.
But I know some people from Achimota and Wesley Girls who put their secondary school certificate first.
That is for political reasons. Oh, okay. In case maybe the one doing the recruitment is from Wegehe or is an old student of Wesley Girls or an old student of Achimota.
We focus on skills. What I say? I'm not going to focus on skills.
But well, for me, it doesn't work for me. I mean, if you qualify, you can be a member of my church. If you don't qualify, I won't give it to you.
Please, then get yourself ready. So after the academic, educational, where do you go?
So once you are done with the education qualification, then now you want to move to professional certifications. Okay. So if you have any professional certificate, ACCA, CHRI, SPHRI.
So these shouldn't be mixed with the educational background or certification. They shouldn't.
I would advise that you create a heading for it, like a heading for it. So educational or academic qualifications. Then you come to professional qualifications, and then you. But for professional qualifications, if you have it, whether or not the job requires it, put it there. It will help you. It will help you. So you put it there, and then if you are affiliated to any professional body or something, you want to put it there. And then the last one, which is optional, is your referees. Some people would say that put it there, others would say upon request. In any case, an employer will not conduct a background check on you without seeking your consent. What you would not know is which of your referees are they going to call. But they will definitely let you know that they are going to contact your referees.
Computer literacy. Is it important to bring it as a separate heading, or you should put it under skills?
It should be under skills. Because these are, I mean, that's why I spoke about the various skills that you need to have. So just put a bit of your technical skills, a bit of the soft skills, and then all that. And sometimes, most of the times when you pick the job descriptions, they indicate which of these skill in terms of computer that you should have. Some of them will be very specific to tell you that put Outlook, PowerPoint, Excel, Word. I think what they do is they look at the application that your role demands that you work with most, and then put it there. So of course, Outlook, you need Outlook for internal communications and other stuff. So there'll be specific what you should put there. But it is good to put it there. One funny thing is, let me share this. My previous organization were engaging an accounts officers, and then these people came. So they were asked, I mean, how good are you in terms of computer literacy, your skill in terms of Excel? Because a finance person, you should be able to use Excel very well. Then they gave them a scale to 1 to 10. Where would you rate it? Somebody said 9, 8, 10. Said okay. What they didn't know was that right after the first level
There's
interview,
a computer waiting for you.
So after everything, then I was like, thank you so much for coming. We are moving you straight into the next session of the interview, which is a practical session. So we wrote password to a laptop, and then we put it there. We didn't turn it on. We just left it there. And then we gave them, I mean, simple question. Word and Excel. Oh my God.
Eli, sabata matami.
And a simple question like, duplicate this or rewrite this in Word. A simple action of copying and pasting the thing.
Is the duplicate? Is the grammar? Is the grammar?
Yeah, I guess so. Exactly.
The next thing I want to ask, hobbies. I saw a CV, somebody applying to a role in a bank, and under hobbies, I saw over there, I love movies and music. You said we should be truthful. She was just being truthful.
Really?
Are hobbies relevant on CVs?
Yes, it's not wrong to put your hobby on your CV. The fear is that, you see, employees have abused a lot of opportunities that have been given to them, and it is affecting others. What hobbies does for you on your CV, I don't have it on my CV anyway. What hobbies does for you on your CV is it helps the employer to know your interest. So that if I'm engaging in any activity that aligns with your interests, I know what to do. I know where to bring you in. I know where to get you. You understand? But people abuse it. For instance, if I see hobbies and I see movies and listening to music, and you come for it, every HR person will want to find out if you will not use productive hours to be watching movies. Because even when they haven't stated it on the CV, they are using it. So we have to be blocking sites. You understand? So it's not bad to put it there. It's optional. Again, if you think your hobby would be relevant to the role, why not put it there? But it's not bad to have it there. That's why people will lie and say, I love reading books and all that. Meanwhile, you know very well that when you pick your book, you start sleeping.
Maybe it's part of the reading skills. Sleep through the reading. All right. My next question, which is something that we mentioned at some part of our conversation, is about automated systems of CV screening, what is popularly called the ATS, the applicant tracking systems, etc., where humans don't even touch the CV. You send the CVs by email or through a system or a portal, and it's pre-screened by this tracking system before even humans come to touch it. What does this mean to someone who is redrafting their CV, having listened to you? What should they look out for? Should it remain the same as you've already said? Or for such systems, we should pay particular attention to certain areas? There are even questions about using PDF or Word, or can you throw light on which ones are
all right,
relevant?
so I think I will start by helping to explain what ATS is, or applicant tracking system.
That'd be
is. So for those who don't have an idea of what the system is, it's a technology that we use to now screen CVs and select applicants as they go through the hiring process. So previously you would have to send your CV, I will sit down, spend hours screening and selecting people, and sometimes the tendency of being biased, I mean, at the human interface level is very high.
You see a name that sounds very nice.
Of course, if I see Royalhouse Chapel member there that I know and you qualify, because I want you to know that if you come and you don't qualify, if you qualify, I mean, naturally.
Now with Kickstarter, we are qualifying all of them. Everybody who has to look. Please, You have to put it as part of your certification.
Professional affiliation.
What has it?
Kickstarters. So these systems helps us to eliminate the human aspect of screening so that we'll be very objective and then take away biases when we are selecting people. Now, what to look out for or what to do when you are applying using the ATS. Number one, align the job to your CV. The ATS is programmed in such a way that they pick keywords from the job description and put it in the system. So they program the system with keywords from the job description.
Okay.
So if you don't align your CV using certain keywords in the job description, your CV will be rejected.
That's how my friend copied and pasted.
So such a person is, I mean, if like the keywords there are what has been, the system has been programmed with, would automatically
go through.
That is if all the other boxes
Yeah.
ticked as well. So that is why. So number one, make sure you align your CV because they program the system with keywords from the job description. The next thing you want to also be careful about when you are using the ATS is that you want to be careful about grammatical errors.
Okay.
The system doesn't have mercy on the cripple. The system will not think for you and say that this is what you intended to write. So once the system spots an error on your CV, it will reject it.
Wow.
The next thing that you want to be careful about is how you even arrange your CV. So there are standard formats for CV. So that's what we've shared here. You have your objective, your skills, and all that. These are standard formats that the ATS would have said. If you mix it up and you don't do it well, you are in trouble. And then you also want to avoid using images and graphics. The system does not recognize it unless it has been programmed to accept it.
Okay.
But generally it won't. Even the fonts you use,
Okay.
they use standard fonts. So you want to be careful about your formatting as well. You want to be careful whether you are using, I think that the general standard is using the Arial, the Calibri, the New Times, Roman. These are the standard ones that we know. Don't give us styles on your CV. We know you are very stylish. We understand, but don't put
your
it on.
future is graphic designing. But please, you are looking for a job.
Don't put it on the CV. The
Okay.
system would reject it. All right. And then also, you also want to be careful about abbreviations and then jargons,
shorthands.
shorthands. The system will not be able to tell that HRM means human resource management. Because there are several explanations and definitions to the abbreviations
Or shorthands
used,
to
or
certain
shorthands.
abbreviation.
So if you put HR,
Or let's
there,
even say AG.
AG.
If you put AG, it could be Auditor General,
it could be Apostle
General,
Attorney
Accountant
General.
General, Attorney General.
So you need to be very specific. So what you can do is probably you can state it in full and put it into brackets.
Yeah.
But I mean, avoid using abbreviations on your CVs.
Okay.
It will be rejected. And then what you also need to do is that a lot of designs are not needed. You pick a CV and so much designs. You cannot tell whether the email address you are sending your CV to, it's going to go through an applicant tracking system or it's going straight to a human being. If it's a human being and your CV comes and you have all the designs with your picture, I can tell you are a fine lady or a fine guy that I can engage. But the system has not been programmed to accept you, so it will reject you. So these are some of the things you want to watch out when you are putting or drafting your CV.
Can you tell if your application is going through an ATS?
Sometimes you get an auto response from the organization that like the system. Thank you for applying for.
That's after you've applied.
That's after you have applied.
Hey, then I'll reapply again.
And they tell you no reply. So it will let you know that no. So all those
okay.
no reply feedbacks you get are going through.
So can somebody test it by just sending hi? Then if there's no reply, they know this one ATS.
So that actually online, I mean, trial systems that you can use. I mean, you just type trial ATS trial systems, and it will, so you just put your CV in and then let it scan it for you to give you all the feedback that you need. It's just like putting your thesis together. You are going to check for plagiarism, so it's same. You can just do that.
Yes, we have in our studio the seasoned HR expert, Pastor Pat Crunchy. I know you've had a wonderful time already and you are doing some readjustments to your CV. Keep your questions and comments coming through, +233 200 515 +233 200 515 She's here in the studios live and she'll be addressing your concerns. We have some few questions coming through. One is saying, and I'm sure probably you've answered it, but let me reiterate, says, do I need to add my picture to a CV?
No, you don't need to. I have already mentioned that you don't add graphics or images to your CV, so you don't have to.
So break it down. So if you say graphics, you mean no picture?
So and images. So the image speaks to the pictures, and then the graphics will speak to the other designs that you put. Unless it's a graphic designing company that is engaging you. so I mean, a lot of things like buttress the point that you have to align your CV to the job description. But please don't put your image on it.
There's another question here, which says, well, there are two parts. One, is it ethical to use AI to draft your CV? Then the second follow-up question, which I'm sure is the actual question this one wants to ask, says, can the automated system, the ATS, detect CVs drafted by AIs? Please, we want to know before we decide what to do. So the ethics of it and whether the ATS systems are able to track.
Well, so I personally don't have a problem using AI to draft your CV.
Okay.
What I would advise is know what you want. I mean, all of us use it. Sometimes you draft a letter, you want to see how professional it is. So sometimes you draft it. I personally would draft myself and then put it in chat GPT and say that check if it is professional enough to send up. They will give you a whole lot, but trust me, there are times they give you information that is not what you are looking for. I have the experience of using chat GPT, and then I stated a formula, did the calculation, and when I got the response, I said, no, this is wrong. So I went back to query the system and I said that, why is it A, B, C, D and not this? Then the system came to the ChatGPT said, I'm sorry.
We'll start suing ChatGPT.
I thought I was the only one that had that experience, but I got a colleague to also confirm. So you must know what you are looking for.
I've seen a lot of instances where the system have come back to apologize and give correction. Based on further information given by.
So know what you are looking for. AI may give you, or ChatGPT may give you a general overview of how your CV. If you tell ChatGPT right now, I am an HR generalist with over 10 years of experience, draft a CV for me, they will put everything there. But the question is, whatever they have put there, is it something you can actually perform or not?
How you want it presented.
Not only the wanting, but am I able to execute, or can I do what it has? Because if the system tells you that, let's say, and that's compensation or salary structuring, which is a bit difficult for most HR practitioners, and then they put it there for you, can you actually do it? Because when you come for the interview, I'll be interested in asking you questions around that. So you would want to like review it to make sure that it is actually reflecting you. Because your CV is you. So when you pick my CV, it should reflect.
I was in an interview once when this gentleman put on the CV part of the skills, a dexterous and organized person. So I asked the person, can you demonstrate how dexterous you are? The person, I said, how dexterous you are? He said, I said, it is on your CV. Then the guy stretches to check if I am, which means I don't know where you got that word from.
And some people also go for CVs of their friends and relatives. So they just pay copy and paste.
Family and friends.
Charlie. And then they'll just change the name and put the S there. Just like in an exam hall. If you don't copyright, you end up copying somebody's index number. So you need to be careful. Probably that word meant something that is very simple. But you want to impress the employer.
Yeah.
We are not interested in your big grammar. Come with simple. I would rather advise that you speak the language of the profession. Speak the language of the profession rather than putting big grammar and big vocabulary there that you yourself do not understand. So recently what I've started doing at my end is when we did interview recently, by the time you enter the interview room, your CV has been displayed on the screen.
Wow.
So you enter with your CV there. And it's a big screen, so you get and you see your CV.
It's greeting you.
Yes. So one person said, I thought the interview would be the place would be very tense, because when I entered, the way I saw my CV. So we won't say something you haven't put on. Whilst we are interviewing, we are scrolling it up and down for you to see what you yourself have put there. So please be truthful and put things that you can actually handle there.
Amazing, amazing. It's been an interesting time. Very educative, informative, and enlightening. CV, the winning CV, and interview skills. We'll be going into our interview session next. But before that, we'll go for a short break, after which we'll come to you with the business term of the day with Hilary Chum. Then we'll come back to Pastor Pat Cranche on interview skills. After you've gotten your CV through, what next?
When God is doing something, nobody is able to stop it. Can I speak into your life right now that whatever God has said concerning your life, God will bring it to pass? The dreamers become great people, but to become great, it's a process. There are 3 stages or 3 things that you must expect to enter into your greatness. Number 1 is perception. Number 2 is persecution. Number 3 is preparation. Every dreamer has what I call perception. You can only arrive at where you have seen or where you have been. Every great person, before they became great, they saw themselves great. If you can see it, you will get there. God knew what will happen to you before he brought you into the world. And before you were a clot of blood in your mother's womb, the Lord knew you, and the Lord called you, and the Lord empowered you. So your background should not stop your greatness. In this conference, I am going to pour out myself. If the cause of your father's house and your mother's house have sent you to come and impede my anointing, may my anointing breakthrough for you. I brought you here to release the power for you to believe. I came to deliver those who are struggling, that you become a living testimony. When you don't have the principles, even when gold is put in your hands, you lose them. But those who are wise, diligent, godly, devoted, anything they find to do is a success. Anytime God uses a father to make and to raise a standard for you, the revelation is that God expects you to exceed the standard of your father. Today, I cut you away from poverty and failure. I bring you to the originality of God's purpose. Every normal human being has a desire for God. There is something that draws you to God, which was why, right from the word go, God established that level of bonding and chemistry between him and Adam and Eve. Those of you who joke with church, stop it. Because when we gather, that is when God shows up to bring you back into the originality of his creative purpose in his image. Here's the difference between you and the other creations of God. Number 1, man was created to have affinity for God. That's your number 1 responsibility. And a man that you see, a father, a mother, a classmate who hates God, that person is less human. If your father doesn't look like God, please sidestep him and look to those who look like God and be like them. With Jesus, your life is balanced. With Jesus, your life is complete. Jesus is Lord. Our next Arise service is 27th April. Block the date. No party, no nowhere. All roads lead to Ahifie, where it all started.
Come on now, come on, come on.
When God is doing something, nobody is able to stop it. Can I speak into your life right now that whatever God has said concerning your life, God will bring it to pass? The dreamers become great people, but to become great, it's a process. There are 3 stages or 3 things that you must expect to enter into your greatness. Number 1 is perception. Number 2 is persecution. Number 3 is preparation. Every dreamer has what I call perception. You can only arrive at where you have seen or where you have been. Every great person, before they became great, they saw themselves great. If you can see it, you will get there. God knew what will happen to you before he brought you into the world. And before you were a clot of blood in your mother's womb, the Lord knew you, and the Lord called you, and the Lord empowered you. So your background should not stop your greatness. In this conference, I am going to pour out myself. If the cause of your father's house and your mother's house have sent you to come and impede my anointing, may my anointing break through for you. I brought you here to release the power for you to believe. I came to deliver those who are struggling, that you become a living testimony. When you don't have the principles, even when gold is put in your hands, you lose them. But those who are wise, diligent, godly, devoted, anything they find to do is a success. Anytime God uses a father to make and to raise a standard for you, the revelation is that God expects you to exceed the standard of your father. Today, I cut you away from poverty and failure. I bring you to the originality of God's purpose. Every normal human being has a desire for God. There is something that draws you to God, which was why, right from the word go, God established that level of bonding and chemistry between him and Adam and Eve. Those of you who joke with church, stop it. Because when we gather, that is when God shows up to bring you back into the originality of his creative purpose in his image. Here's the difference between you and the other creations of God. Number 1, man was created to have affinity for God. That's your number 1 responsibility. And a man that you see, a father, a mother, a classmate who hates God, that person is less human. If your father doesn't look like God, please sidestep him and look to those who look like God and be like them. With Jesus, your life is balanced. With Jesus, your life is complete. Jesus is Lord. Our next Arise service is 27th April. Block the date. No party, no nowhere. All roads lead to Ahifie, where it all started.
Come on now, come on, come on.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome to the business term of the day segment with me, Hilary Chum. Our business term for today is negotiation. Negotiation can be defined as a strategic discussion or engagement intended to resolve an issue in a way that both parties find acceptable. Negotiations involve a give and take. This means that one or both parties will have to sacrifice or make compromises in order for a decision to be made. Negotiations can be done between a buyer and a seller, 2 or more governments, a business owner and their prospective employees, and other parties. Now let's take this example. Jojo receives an appointment as a manager of a phone distribution company. His basic pay is 70% more than his current pay. However, he writes officially to the company asking for a counter offer. This is because Jojo's current location is far from where the company is taking him. Therefore, he requests for a relocation and a rent allowance. The company responds to Jojo back with another counter offer, offering him an official company car and 1-year residence at the company's apartment complex. Now this is agreed and accepted by Jojo and the company's HR. This is a perfect example explaining negotiation, which includes a counter deal, compromise, and a concluding deal as well. In order to have a successful negotiation, you would have to go through 4 basic steps. These include 1. Preparation. In the preparation stage, you establish your goals and ideas. You make sure that you know what you want to get at the end of the negotiation. Also, gather your facts and ideas that you will need for your negotiation. This is arguably the most important stage in the negotiation process. Secondly is the exchanging information. Now this is where both parties would meet and discuss each other's proposition, and they will make sure that they clearly state each other's stand. The third stage is bargaining. In the bargaining stage, me and you mostly misinterpret this as the whole negotiation stage, but it is actually a part of negotiation. Now this is where both parties will think about each other's proposition, keeping in mind that at the end, they both have to make sure that they fulfill each other's goals. And in that stage, they will make sure that counter details can also be added in order for the negotiation to go on successfully. Now, when you are offering your counter deal, make sure that you do not sound rude, argumentative, or dismissive, as you can disrupt the whole negotiation process by doing so. The last and final stage is closing the deal. Now, after both parties are satisfied with whatever has been agreed on, the negotiation is closed with a verbal or signed agreement. Mostly, the signed agreement is preferred over the verbal. This is because the signed agreement contains information on what both parties are supposed to do in order for the negotiation to be a success. And in future reference, if one decides not to do their part, they can be deterred on it. I hope with this understanding, you have more knowledge about negotiation, and you will make sure that in doing your negotiations, you prepare adequately, make sure that you present your propositions properly, bargain effectively, and have a closing deal in order to have your negotiations. Thank you, and this has been the Business Term of the Day segment. Let's take it back to our host, Reverend Tsivape, to take us through the business of the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So that was the Business Term of the Day negotiation with Hilary Chum. And we pray and trust that whenever you are engaged in such interactions and you are also pushing across your propositions, you will have them properly accepted and it will work in your favor, so that when you come to share your testimony, we will dance and celebrate with you. So yes, that is very powerful. Thank you, Hilary, and we trust that this will make significant impact in the knowledge store of our viewers. This is the Kickstarter series, the third edition with Emmanuel Tsivape. Keep your questions coming through, +233 200 515253, +233 200 515253. We are blessed to have in studios with us a seasoned expert in HR with over 10 years of experience in human resource, a chartered member in HR with the Pastor Pat Crunchy. It's been an exciting session. We have lots of questions coming through, and we'll be moving on to our next part of the conversation. We've looked at CVs, and then we concluded with the ethics of using artificial intelligence in CVs, how applicant tracking systems currently are being used or deployed, and what prospective applicants should be looking out for. Now, after this, CVs have been presented. What's next?
So usually when you send your CVs, whether it is going directly to the recruiter or it is the system that is handling it for you, we usually will indicate that only shortlisted applicants would be contacted. because we have 1,001 CVs coming in. And so if you want to call and reach out to all these applicants, is a lot of work. So sometimes to avoid the stress and people saying that, oh, we send our CV, we didn't hear anything and all that, we just put that only shortlisted applicants will be contacted. So if you don't, we don't contact you, you straight away know that you were not shortlisted.
Shall take it by force.
But usually with the system, they would draft a response, feedback response in the system. So if the system rejects your CV, it would automatically send you an immediate message and tell you, thank you for applying, for showing interest in this role. Unfortunately, your skills do not match what we are looking now for. We have decided to move on with a more...
Sounds like you have been writing that grammar for them. Please, ladies and gentlemen, you know the one who has been putting that grammar in the system. See how fluent she is. Even the full stop, she wants to mention it.
So, I mean, the system will tell you that you've been rejected, but when it comes to the human bit of the process, we would want to contact only shortlisted applicants. The sad thing is that personally, if I am looking to fill one role, my target shortlisted list is 3.
Wow. So the applicant tracking system is going to move all of the 1,200 CVs and present only 3 to you.
So with a system, they program the system such that, okay, do this first level screening if this person has A, B, C, D in the CV. So it does the first level screening. Then they would program it again. It's okay, after this level, look out for XYZ.
Okay, so there are stages.
So there are stages. So the system will take through all the CVs through various stages until it gets to the final point where the recruiter will now say that, okay, I have, let's say, 10 CVs. And then now they will present the 10 CVs to the hiring department or the hiring manager, who then goes through and say that, okay, select this for me. There are instances where they can also program and say that, look out for these skills, these competencies, and once it goes through the stages, select, if you get 10, give me the best 5 or best 4. So personally, if I'm filling a role, I either use 3, maximum 4. But out of the 4, I'm going to pick only 1. Now you've put out the advert. Sometimes if you go on LinkedIn, one advert, you realize that within 5 minutes, you have over 100 applicants. And you have to screen and all that. And that is the more reason why you need to make sure that you have a well structured and drafted CV that will speak for you in your absence to your potential employer.
Someone has sent a comment to our WhatsApp line, says, wow, so recruiters and recruitment systems mark us down for certain information we put on our CVs.
Yeah.
So it's not just information omitted, but information on it can actually mark you down.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Now, from CV screening, usually there is the interview stage, most often than not. What should a job-seeking applicant look out for or prepare prior to going for interviews? You've been successful, you've gotten a call or the email. What should you do next?
Right, so I think I mentioned this earlier on when I started, or as part of what we were discussing CVs. I said that once you are called for an interview, personally, I believe you are 50% through. You are just going to justify the remaining 50%. And that is where you need to, someone says, I heard one mentor says that take interviews as your last day on earth. Don't go and joke over there. So once you are shortlisted, and that is what starts the selection process. So you usually will hear people say recruitment and selection. So the shortlisting starts the selection system. Once you are shortlisted to the next stage, means you've been selected or you've been moved to the next stage, and that is good news for you. So what you need to do is to prepare. How do you prepare? Now, one of the things you want to do is to research about the company.
Okay.
Unfortunately, in our part of the world, you hardly see companies put out their name on job descriptions. Some go through recruitment agencies, so they will do the shortlisting, invite you for the first level interview, and then when you pass that interview, before they actually mention to you the company you are going to actually be working with, or your potential employer. So if you are fortunate to know the organization that is recruiting, you want to read about it, or if you are able to go through the first level and you get to know about the company, you want to read about it, know their mission, know their vision, know what they are into. I mean, do a lot of research about the company. Sometimes you can go on LinkedIn if you have an idea about the company, and then just send friends requests or follow some of their staff, just watch what they do there. Or you can just go on the company's platform, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. Now, a lot of companies are on almost all the social media handles. So you want to follow through to know what is happening over there. I have had people send me messages in my inbox, oh, I want to join SenLab, because we are very active on our social media platform. And that is actually, it's not like we fake there. It actually reflects what we do in the organization. So you want to read and research about the organization. The next thing you want to do is to research or read a lot about the role you are applying for. Because, like I said, an account officer in company A is different from account officer in company B. Sometimes you look at the job description, you have knowledge about the job description, but you don't really have the experience. So you want to go on YouTube to find out practically how is it done. So that search now helps with the knowledge you have. So when you go and you are fortunate and you get questions going that line, you know what to say. I mean, your responses then becomes very practical. So you need to research about the job, research about the organization, research about pay ranges within that industry. For instance, I mean, in Ghana, if somebody says, I work in a mining company or oil and gas, we all have a certain perception that these people are paid well. If you say you work at MTN, you have a certain perception about their salary rate. If you say you work at SenLab Ghana, you have perception. Sometimes people come for interviews and your expectation, they mention amount, and they know that SenLab is a global organization, headquarters is in Germany, and somebody as part of the expectation is looking forward to exchange programs in Germany and all that. So you want to research about the pay system, or the pay, not just the pay, but look at the total reward system in the organization. And by total reward, what I mean is that you are looking at the compensation and the benefits that is within the industry, because sometimes it's difficult getting information within the organization. So you want to scan in the industry to know if you will get some good information to help you. Today when I was coming here, a friend called me. She's in Takrade, and then she said she's going for an interview as an HR manager. She has not been active as a practitioner for some time, but by the grace of God, she's got an organization that wants to engage her. She's progressed to the level where they were going to discuss salary. So she called me, what is the current average salary of HR managers now? And I have to mention to her that if you have, like, look, depending on your experience, you can quote this, but make yourself available for negotiation. So you want to scout and or speak to people you think can give you useful information to quote the right salaries or salary ranges during the interview.
Look at the cars parked at the car park and say,
and then go and quote afa. So, for all you know, the HR director or the finance director or the customer service director they are looking for, their salary is just 3,000 Ghana net. And you are going to quote like 10K because to you, the nice environment. Then, apart from the salary, knowing about the salary and researching about the job and then the organization, in terms of your appearance, you need to look good. Okay. Because we won't. When you, it's so funny that at the interview, we won't ask you questions about your dressing. right when you immediately you enter,
Assessment has been done.
we have started. So once you enter, we just scan you 30 seconds. We know whether you came well. So you need to prepare yourself in terms of your outlook, how you want to appear. You don't want to put on too much makeup. You don't want to put on strong perfume. If you can avoid it, use a good deodorant and avoid perfume, because maybe the perfume you are going to use to you it smells good to you, but the one who is going to interview is a totally different thing for the person. So it then makes it difficult for the person to progress. Or pentema away from interview room because your perfume is irritating him or her.
So you go out and you go and say, oh, it went well. One question per question. No, it's perfume.
So go smelling well. Use a good deodorant, and then if possible, avoid the perfume. If you want to use perfume, you can use a mild. Yes, very mild. Yes, very mild.
You might not know what somebody's allergic to.
Absolutely. And then in terms of your earring, you don't want to wear dangling earrings and all that. I mean, keep it simple and then professional. That is what we look at.
There are a few questions here and comments from our viewers. I'll be touching on them. But before that, how do you deal with anxiety, fear, uncertainty going into interviews or during interviews?
It's normal to
do you recruiters sometimes deliberately decide to intimidate people?
Well, some do, but I don't do that. I don't do that. And the moment you sit down, I tell you that relax. I'll give you water, and when you come and you are tensed, I'll tell you, are you okay? Relax. And I'll tell you, forget about our job titles and give us the best that you want to give us. And I will let you know that if you allow your fears or how tense you are to overcome you, you'll not be able to tell us or sell yourself very well. So I would tell you the moment you sit, I'll tell you that and let you know that you have to be relaxed. And so, I spoke about the recent interviews. So all of them, we didn't ask them anything, but right after the interview, the feedback is, I haven't been to such a relaxed environment for interview before. So it depends. It depends on who is interviewing you, but the objective is not to get you tensed. However, if you are not fortunate and you find yourself in a tensed environment during interview, it's normal to have that feeling. You are going to a place, you don't know the people you are going to meet, you have no idea of the questions they are going to ask you. I mean, you are totally blank except for what you have prepared for. So it is normal. I mean, even people that have mounted platforms over and over, once it's time for them to go again, you feel that feeling is there. You feel a bit anxious and all that. It's normal. But what you need to do is to quickly use your positives to overcome it. Make sure that though it's a normal feeling, it doesn't cloud your performance during the interview.
Okay.
Because you go to an interview and say, oh, my name is so and so, I'm the head of HR for so and so. You meet my colleague, director of this, you meet this person, chief, all of a sudden, hey, director, hey, chief. It's just like going to play football and you see the day are you there, you see Cristiano Ronaldo on the field.
Meanwhile, you're from Kologo 14.
Charlie, and then because you'll be playing that, instead of you to concentrate on the football, play and score and
John
let
Boy,
us go.
You are taking selfie.
Like the way Chelsea is losing the match, you'll be concentrating on the people you are playing with. So please don't allow it to cloud your performance. It's normal, but just make sure that it doesn't overcome you. Work on yourself. Tell yourself that these are human beings I'm going to meet. They are not going to ask you anything different from what you don't know. Okay, so that is what I did, and with time, when I'm going for interview, Charlie, that kind of, though it's there, depending on who I'm going to meet, it's just for a second and it's off.
Wow. Awesome. Well, if you're a Chelsea fan, don't worry. Losing to Arsenal is better than winning against Coventry. There are comments here. This one says, please, can I add trainings I have attended to my CV?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can. but you can attest that not all trainings would be relevant or would match the job. So you can pick the training that will relate, and workshops, seminars, conferences that will relate to the job to it. You can put it. These are optional headings or sessions that you want to.
So another person says, please, good evening. I just joined. Can you repeat how CVs are arranged? Unfortunately, we can't repeat because our time is all gone. But fortunately, I believe this person is watching us via Powerline TV. Fortunately, we streamed live on YouTube. So go to YouTube, search for Powerline TV. You'll see this particular show airing there now. Or even when we are done, the link is still going to be available on YouTube. You can go back and play, and then you see all the other sessions. If you're on Facebook, Royalhouse Chapel International or Royalhouse Chapel Students and Associates, you'll see the link there. Follow. You can go back and watch every session, the arrangement of CVs, the parts, the do's, the don'ts, preparing for interviews, dealing with the applicant tracking systems, artificial intelligence discussions, etc., etc. Probably this will be the final comment. We'll take your concluding remarks and then we call it off. Please, good evening. Thank you for this educational session. Please, can I... I think it's the same person who resent it, about the same training. And then the second part is, if yes, where should it be placed, the training?
Or you can put it at the latter part, before you put your referees or before your... Okay, so put it right after your educational qualification and your professional certification. You can then add the trainings, because all those, I mean, your training is also a form of education, so it can come just after that.
Okay.
Yes, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, Pastor Pat. It's been exciting, it's been educative, it's been enlightening, and I hope that you've done some adjustments to your CV. Those on the Kickstarter page, you can reach out to the admins. We would have some of your CVs reviewed, and we believe that you would go through this session again, do the adjustments, and make sure you have the best CV that will tell your story for you, about you, to your potential recruiters, and I and the Good News team will be willing to receive your testimonies. Don't forget, tomorrow, same time, 7 p.m. is Family Life Series with Mama Rita, Family Life Series with Mama Rita, and it's coming from the United Kingdom. So Mommy is in the United Kingdom and is coming with the UK edition of Family Life Series. Last week we had the first edition, and she's coming with the second edition, Ask Mama Rita. So you can send your questions in advance, all questions about relationships, marriages, raising children, mental health issues, whatever it is about the family. Please send it to the same number on your screen, +233 200 515253, and Mommy and her seasoned counselors are definitely going to be dealing with them effectively. Also this Saturday, like we mentioned and you saw on your screens, with the Apostle General, the Movers and Shakers Arise service, the second episode is coming on this Saturday, 27th of April, 4 p.m. sharp at Ahimfie. Anybody in the Greater Accra region, wherever you are, drive your car, pick boat, pick trotro, pick Uber, pick a taxi, even Okada. Just make sure by any means you are here. If you're on our various university campuses, our Rosa community is coming by bus. Join them and be a part of this wonderful service with the Apostle General and the sons of the Apostle General. I'm looking forward to receiving you as we dance, celebrate, and fellowship in the presence of the Lord. Pastor Pat, thank you so much for making it with us. We're looking forward to having you once again on different topics. Our next topic for engagement is likely going to be LinkedIn pages and how to prepare yourself on social media to be the right candidate to be selected for whatever purposes there are. So we'll be looking at, why should you have a LinkedIn account? What should you do? How should it look like? What is even LinkedIn? Why should I be there? We are going to be having experts come on this show to take us through that, and I hope is going to help you position yourself right. Your concluding remarks, Pastor Pat.
Right, so if you are watching us, what I want to tell you is that in drafting your CV, make sure that you sell yourself very well on your CV. Make sure that you put in there things that you can actually do. Don't lie on your CV, because when you come for the interview, we are going to ask you questions based on what you've put on your CV and the job that we require you to do. And so you want to be very frank and honest on your CV. Again, one thing that I also want to mention before we sign off is that your email address, please be careful the kind of email address you put there. Don't go and put superman@gmail.com or jamjamp@gmail.com.
Sexy babe one.
Yes, at gmail.com. If possible, get a professional email address that you will use for professional transactions. So you want to use Outlook to create one, and then your Gmails can be used for your social engagement or other things. It's not wrong if you are using it, but if you want to use Gmail, you want to use Yahoo, you want to use all the other email addresses, please make sure that it is professional. If you put Superman, I don't want you to come and fly over our building.
Your clients,
So you want to be sure of what you put there.
Okay.
And what I want to say is that a good CV without the backing of God is like a statement on paper. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't carry any power. So don't just send your CVs. Do the right thing, but as you send the CV, ask God or the Holy Spirit to go ahead of your CVs.
Great.
There are people who write good CVs, but the forces in their families are wearing kambu.
Woman of God, since you've gotten there, can you pray for somebody who probably is preparing to apply or have applied or going for an interview, that the God, as you have spoken about, God of Sam Crunchy Ankara, will come through for them as we conclude with this?
Right. Father, we thank you and we bless you for this evening. Thank you for this discussion. We pray for a sister, a brother out there who is even confused about what to put on his or her CV. We pray that Holy Spirit guide and direct them. Show them what to put there.
Yes, Lord.
God, the job description is there, but what to put, the key words to lift and put there, it is only you that can help and guide them to pick and select the right one. We pray that God, you will help them.
Yes, Lord.
Give them wisdom. Give them wisdom. Give them wisdom. Give them wisdom. In the name of Jesus.
Yes, Lord.
We also pray for those who have already sent their CVs.
Yes,
God,
Lord.
Holy Spirit, go ahead of them. Whoever, whether it is systems, whether it is human, Father, your power supersedes the powers of systems and technology. Your power supersedes the power of humans. We pray, Lord, that God, your favor will go ahead of their CVs.
Yes, Lord.
Let them be selected. Let them be shortlisted. And Father, when they are shortlisted and selected, give them the grace, the boldness, clarity, utterance to go through interviews successfully. Give us a testimony. You have done it for us in this house. We have heard countless testimonies. So we have no doubt that you can do it for us. Do it once again, and God, we will come back to you to give you your praise, to give you your honor, and to give you your thanks. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. We'll be ready to receive your testimony this Saturday. Movers and Shakers Arise, 4 p.m. Ahimfie. God bless you. Kickstarter series. We'll be back same time, same period this next month. Thank you.
Today, I cut you away from poverty and failure. I bring you to the originality of God's purpose. Every normal human being has a desire for God. There is something that draws you to God, which was why, right from the word go, God established that level of bonding and chemistry between him and Adam and Eve. Those of you who joke with church, stop it. Because when we gather, that is when God shows up to bring you back into the originality of his creative purpose in his image. Here's the difference between you and the other creations of God. Number one, man was created to have affinity for God. That's your number one responsibility. And a man that you see, a father, a mother, a classmate who hates God, that person is less human. If your father doesn't look like God, please sidestep him and look to those who look like God and be like them. With Jesus, your life is balanced. With Jesus, your life is complete. Jesus is Lord. Our next Arise service is 27th April. Block the date. No party, no nowhere. All roads lead to Ahifie, where it all started.
Come on now, come on, come on.